Hello. In this section, we will discuss the BP strategy and compare that to two of its competitors, Shell and Chevron. Although these three companies have the original roots from different parts of the world, today their operations do overlap with each other in nature and geographically. Together, these companies account for oil production of nearly 10 million barrels per day, and they employ over 229,000 employees in over 70 countries. Let's first start off by discussing BP's business strategy. BP's business strategy has evolved since 1901. This is something that's allowed it to maintain in operations since then, and of course, survive the costly Deepwater Horizon mishap in 2010. Their strategy is to aim to create value for our investors and benefits for the communities and societies in which we operate. They go about this through three core concepts, which is clear priorities, quality portfolio, and distinctive capabilities. In clear priorities, BP aims to run safe, reliable, and compliant operations. In quality portfolio, they undertake active portfolio management to concentrate on areas where they can play to their strengths. As Pauline discussed earlier during the SWOT analysis, BP does have some strengths and they know about them, so they intend to capitalize on those. In terms of distinctive capabilities, that is applying advanced technology across the hydrocarbon value chain, from finding resources to developing energy efficient and high performance products for customers. In other words, research and development and new technology which will give them a competitive edge over their competitors. Next, we'll talk about Shell's strategy and Chevron's strategy. As I read the strategy for Shell and Chevron, you'll notice some very similar concepts to that of BP, and that is because there are some similarities. Pretty much, Shell, Chevron, and BP share the commitment to becoming an industry leader and provide superior returns to shareholders. That is something that they all have in common. But let's talk a little bit more about Shell's strategy. So Shell's strategy is to seek to reinforce their position as a leader in the oil and gas industry while helping to meet global energy demand in a responsible way. They strive to create competitive returns for shareholders. That is their strategy statement. But this is they go about it through which is called cash engines, and in cash engines, it pretty much encompasses conventional oil and gas, integrated gas, oil sands and mining, and oil products. Pretty much, cash engines is what Shell expects to provide strong and stable returns and include free cash flow. Also, cash engine is what Shell expects to cover the dividends that they pay for shareholders. So that's a very important concept for Shell. Next is their growth priorities. So when it talks about when Shell discusses growth priorities, they're referring to pretty much deep water oil and gas and chemicals. Shell expects this arena to become the next cash engine in the next decades. And then lastly, Shell also plans to execute their strategy through future opportunities such as alternative resources for energy. In Chevron's strategy, theirs is to guide our actions to deliver industry-leading results and superior shareholder value in any business environment. Again, the concept of being the leader in the industry and providing superior shareholder is something that you hear in Chevron, Shell, and BP's strategy. So similar to BP and Shell, Chevron has three major business strategies, which is upstream, downstream, and chemicals, and midstream. Also, they invest in people to develop and empower a highly competent workforce that delivers results. Execution, which delivers results through disciplined operational excellence. Growth, which ties to providing the superior shareholder returns. And lastly is technology and functional excellence, which allows Chevron to also have a competitive advantage over its competitors. So now the question is, how are these strategies working out for these companies, specifically here at BP? So for that, we'll take a little, we'll take a look at some of the data that was captured by Market Realist in September of 2016. And the first concept is that of the shareholder yield. So BP has the highest shareholder yield, as you can see here. That's at about 6.9%. Second highest is Shell, and lastly comes Chevron. Also, Exxon is depicted here, but we don't talk too much about Exxon in this presentation. Next is the buy rating in terms of shares. So the highest buy rating is that of Shell's. Okay. Also, you can see here how BP and Shell are pretty much tied in terms of selling their shares, and in terms of holding shares, investors tend to hold BP shares a lot more than the other competitors. Next is the production capabilities. So all three companies talked about how they want to lead the industry, and you lead the industry by producing, by having the most production. In this slide here, you can see how Shell produces more hydrocarbon and natural gas as well than its competition. Here, Shell accounts for pretty much 3.5 million barrels of oil per day, and Shell here accounts for over 10 billion of cubic feet of natural gas production per day. A big reason why Shell leads the pack in this arena is because it bought out a company by the name of BG, and that acquisition allowed Shell to pretty much lead the pack. So, in conclusion, right? So after diving deep into BP's rich history, dissecting its strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, and also comparing their strategy with some of the world's largest players in the industry, we do believe that BP will continue to stand for years to come. They are a very resilient company today, and they are poised for future challenges in the future. Their balanced portfolio allows them flexibility, and as BP draws near the completion of their costly Deepwater Horizon expense, they will be able to invest or diversify even more. BP completely understands that technology innovation is the future of this organization, and today they are pumping millions of dollars into research and development. Well, that concludes our BP analysis. Thank you.